So today I'll be discussing effective marketing seen through the contemporary lenses of consumers and stakeholders in the digital age. So to provide some background or context, recently we have reached a very digital age with the rise of technology and social media. Additionally, our population has increased tremendously. World population reached 8 billion in 2022. And with the rise of technology, there has become an easier reach to these populations with social media. And lastly, there has been an increase in companies. According to Statistica, a large company defined with 500 employees or more have increased by 2,000 from the year 2000 to 2024. So this leads us to the question, what is the most impactful way to market to a population? I use the stimulus source Maori oral narratives to guide my thinking and research on this project by Judith Binney. And to answer my previous question, storytelling when used in marketing teams can have an immense effect on consumers, increasing their advertisement engagement, purchase intention, and brand loyalty. So why is this so? Number one, engagement. Storytelling can increase engagement simply because of our human psychology. An acclaimed Chinese author who studied marketing in grocery stores explains how storytelling can have a favorable impact on consumers because people naturally think narratively rather than argumentatively. And an article released by New York Times stated that people remember stories 22 times more than facts and figures alone. Secondly, there's historical evidence from some of our earliest ancestors that storytelling is extremely impactful. For example, history professor at the University of Auckland, Judith Binney, states that the Maori oral narratives are not merely another source of information, but their purpose is to create meaning. Even more recently, storytelling has created an impact specifically in pop culture. Famous US-born pop star Selena was known for her narrative-style performances, which created lasting impacts in the Selenidad movement. So these two pieces of evidence demonstrate how more meaningful content increases engagement. Secondly, using storytelling in advertisements can create financial growth. Professor Lee Yan Pan at the National Yunlin University of Science and Technology explained how consumers having good engagement with the product can show higher purchase intention. So purchase intention is basically just the likeliness that someone will buy a product. So a higher connection with the product and familiarity with the product makes people more likely to buy it and increases that purchase intention. This can create immense economic growth for a company. Additionally, many studies also found that consumers were willing to pay more for products advertised with storytelling. So not just likelihood of buying it, but willingness to pay more money for it. A study done at the University of Castilla-La Mancha found that stronger brand image is correlated with premium prices, loyalty, and brand preference. And lastly, brand loyalty. Chief Marketing Officer at Keysight Technologies stated that storytelling is powerful because it creates an emotional connection between a company, its products, and its consumers. So when you have that emotional connection and consumers become more familiar with the product, and this can increase their the memorability of a product over time, and this can create a lasting impact on the consumer. So overall, storytelling is the most impactful most memorable, and most permanent way of reaching an audience. However, there are some drawbacks to this. For example, storytelling requires a longer advertising time than just presenting simple facts and figures. This can be more expensive for a company and requires more creativity. It's harder to create an ad with storytelling than just facts and figures. And then an implication is that it can seem manipulative at times. Some critics say that storytelling tends to blur the line between truth and entertainment. However, it is not completely deceptive, as humans normally have emotional reactions to storytelling and things of that sort. So why is this important? Effective marketing is important because it can connect people with solutions. It can spread awareness about important topics. And lastly, it creates jobs, because when companies grow, more employment is created. And these are my
Talk to me about the strategies that you used in order to gather your information and conduct your research.
Some strategies I used when conducting research, specifically on EBSCOhost. I would try and use keywords to find my research. Oftentimes, some of the keywords weren't really effective, so I would try and find synonyms online for those keywords, and then use them in maybe a different article or study would have popped up, which was helpful because it helped me find a lot of different sources.
And what are the real world implications or consequences of your findings, specifically to our community?
As I said in my presentation, some implications are that sometimes storytelling can be deceptive towards human emotions. This can affect a community because sometimes you have exaggerated advertising when you use storytelling, and this can sometimes lead to even false advertising, which is not good for the community.